And General Mills commanded 20,000 U.S. Marines. No, is that right, General? 20,000? And about 10,000 or 20?
10,000 Brits.
10,000 Brits. So 30,000 men and women in Helmand province, Afghanistan, for the last year. And he literally arrived back in the U.S. last evening. So for anyone who has jet lag from spring break, don't complain to the general. And it's one of the things I'm really glad his wife Pat could be here this evening, because one of the things that we tend not to be mindful of is the sacrifice that the families back home make when their loved ones are serving abroad. So Pat has not only shared that sacrifice with her husband Rich, but has been one of the driving forces in the last couple of months behind the Afghan Children's School Project. That is what we've come up with a new category of person in Spirit of America called the Uber Volunteer. And that describes her perfectly. So she's been very helpful in getting that off the ground. So please welcome, and by way of thanking General Mills.
Well, good evening. And, just to show you, I didn't waste my entire year in Afghanistan. Assalamu alaikum. And I know, having been in high school myself, and having gone through civics projects and that kind of thing, that, you know, you can kind of think it's kind of routine and some teacher had a real good idea. But what you are doing tonight is and what you've been doing with this school is changing the world. And I'm going to tell you why you've been changing the world. When I arrived in Afghanistan a year ago, I was assigned to Helmand province and Nimruz province, which are the two provinces in the far southwest of that country. The past 10, they've been under the strict control, as you know, of the Taliban, who had their way of doing things. And one of their ways of doing things was to eliminate education. So we focused in many of our efforts on providing education for the Afghan people. They were dying for it. They were thirsty for it. They longed for it, what they wanted. Once security was set on the ground, once we had an environment where you could live and operate relatively securely, the first thing they wanted was education. We spent 3 months ago where they went in, an independent organization went in and polled the people of Helmand province. Said, what is your number one concern? A year ago was security. They wanted to live in a secure environment. This year, 79% of them said education. It was the one thing they wanted. And that's what we focused on, and that's what this program does. Because as Jim said, the facilities there, the ability of the government to provide for the youngsters is poor. They're working on it, but right now it's poor. They lack the tools to turn desire into fact. And that's what you all provide, are those tools. Something as simple as a notebook, something as simple as a pencil. And when we began to see 100,000 students, 20,000 of them girls, come to our schools in Helmand province, we knew that we had tipped the balance. We knew we had the population on our side. They were willing to invest their children in the future. It was a huge statement they made. A huge risk they took, but it's a risk that's paying off. In Garmshire, where this school is located, about 2 months ago, Taliban came in on a Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, after the police had kind of left for the day. They burned one of the schools, burned it to the ground. We didn't know about it, but the next morning, early, at the front gate of our base, parents came knocking on the door. They asked for tentage. Didn't want anything, but they asked for tents, which we provided to them. They went out to the school grounds next to the still smoldering embers and erected the tents. School was on by 12 o'clock that same day. Absolutely, that's the kind of investment parents want to make. They want their children educated. And an educated population is what we need. It will bring them into the 21st century. It will connect them to the world. They will be better for it. The children here thirst for education. They thirst for the tools to have that education. That's what this program provides. Jim was being a little modest. He has in fact, he and his organization have changed the ground over. They have provided ways for women to make a living with sewing machines. They have provided the ways for men to move from illicit growth of heroin to licit means of making a living. And it has changed the world. And your education, what you all do, will change things over there. So thank you for the support that you provide. Thank you for what you all do. You are game changers.